Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the bantamweight bout between Rob Font versus Cody Garbrandt. So let's get right into it. First off, Font has a momentum advantage. He's on riding a better streak. Garbrandt was almost at one point looking like a shot fighter until his last fight where he came back, did his due diligence, got his mind right, ventured out where he needed to venture out, rounded out some of his skills and just polished some stuff or maybe mental work or whatnot, and came back looking good and got one of the best knockouts of last year over Sun Sal. But this is not a whole backstory video. But let's get to the point. Reach is in font size. I think 71-inch reach versus like a 66-inch reach for Cody Garbrandt. So a significant reach advantage on font side, and he has a pretty good jab, an advantage. I'm not saying he has a better jab than Garbrandt, but one of the best things to have when you do have a reach advantage is a jab and knowing how to use it, and he does know how to use it. Speed, Garbrandt. Youth, Garbrandt. Garbrandt's like 4 or 5 years younger, but height, I think they birth like the same. I say birth, but they both like the same height. But what I see in this one is I'm gonna lead the Garbrandt. I feel like Font, just like Qatar or Cater, his teammate, they both have solid boxing, but it's really bare basic fundamentals. Like they're real good jabs, good straight, sometimes slip uppercut. They got a little unorthodox stuff in there, but for the most part, their pattern's gonna follow the very basic pattern. So they're solid, they're powerful from the basic stance, defensively sound, but a lot of times that can lead to predictability. And I saw even in the Marlon Moraes fight, early on in the fight, he switched stance and tried to throw a jab, and Moraes saw it real easy, was able to duck at him because um, Font's just so heavy on his lead leg when he's throwing a jab. Like he's stepping into every single jab. It's not really a case of him just like sitting on his punches. It's always a step in. It's good fundamentals, but when you're dealing with kicks and other things involved, and even in the combats like actual boxing, like it's good to step into, or I mean, to your shots. Nothing really wrong with that, but as the sport evolves and start become predictability, a lot of higher level fighters are the ones that are more successful. They'll find ways to break the rules and do things different ways so that that leaves them less telegraphed. Whereas, like I said, Font and Cater are solid boxers and whatnot. I don't know about in the world of actual boxing where they will stack up, probably not that high, but they're solid boxers within the realm of MMA. But even within the realm of MMA, that type of style where you're so like bare basic fundamentals and a lot of times stepping in on a jab can lead you open to leg kicks. Just how Volkanovski was able to beat Max Holloway, especially in the first fight, because Max Holloway stepped in with every single jab, or with a lot of his jab, or the great majority of a jab. So you already knew every time you're doing that jab, that leg gonna be coming out, and he could just do a kick to really frustrate him and throw him off. And I can see the same thing happen with Garbrandt against Font, because in Garbrandt's last fight against the Sun Sal, he was able to really frustrate a Sun Sal who's, a point fighter, a very high level point fighter. He plays this game of tag with his opponents and was able to batter his legs. And every time he switched stance, when he switched to southpaw, lands heavy body kicks to the body. Then we switched back to orthodox, attack the outside of the lead leg, the outside of the lead leg. So he was like mixing it up, and had a Sun Sal wearing those leg kicks and wearing the kicks heavily very early on in the fight. And I can see him definitely taking advantage of that with his movement and taking advantage of attacking that lead leg of Font. Or if he does switch stance, then attack the body. Just constantly keep him off balance so he can't really plan on the jab. And when he can't plan on the jab, he can't really find that straight behind that jab. So just constantly keep him off balance, move, be fast. I think he's the more technical striker, the faster striker, the more experienced fighter, or at least the more accomplished fighter. But yeah, I think it's a case of where, Garbrandt is gonna mix it up well, come in with a good game plan. Yes, his chin is questionable, and I feel like if Font can frustrate, like be able to land the jab at least with some consistency, that could cause him to be frustrated, and then opens up opportunities for Font. But if he doesn't get Garbrandt frustrated or get him off his game, I think the movement and not staying in one place is going to allow Garbrandt to win this fight, or will lead Garbrandt to win this fight. And we look at all of Garbrandt's losses, at least in his professional career, not his amateur, because he got knocked on amateurs too, but all his professional losses, like both to Dillashaw and then and then his last loss to Pedro Munoz, where they all were inside the pocket. I think Dillashaw, he just was so caught up in the beef that he wanted to finish Dillashaw. He saw him hurt and just ran in there. Second time, just fall into pattern in the pocket, trading, but not minding his defense. Literally all Dillashaw did was he was trading, but he was bringing his hand up, and Garbrandt wasn't. Yes, Garbrandt's faster, but Dillashaw was blocking himself. Against Pedro Munoz was able to chew up the leg, chew up the body of Garbrandt, which forced him to come to the inside because he was getting chewed up at distance, and then he got in the pocket frustrated and was caught. So I could definitely see a case of if he could frustrate him, maybe get that jab on, make him feel it, maybe buzz him up with that jab. I could see him frustrating Garbrandt, but for the most part, I really see. And if Garbrandt, I think another smart thing would be to mix in the wrestling. Font's wrestling defense has not been all the best. I'm not saying he has terrible grappling or anything, but it's definitely an opportunity, a pathway to score takedowns on him, score points, and that will throw him further off. Mix it up. It's mixed martial arts, so mix it up. But I haven't seen Garbrandt really mix it up with many people. It's been striking. So I'm really, again, heavy on the lead leg. I see Garbrandt moving, sticking, attacking the lead leg, switching his own stance, and keeping, really not allowing Font to consistently put so much weight on that lead leg and taking off some of the pop off that jab and taking away some of his mobility, and then using his speed and using his footwork further to take advantage of that, of him taking, breaking down Font and limiting his movement, which will make Garbrandt's movement even more significant, and let his own hands go, let his own boxing go. But first, take out that lead leg, take off some of that power, and then that will allow Garbrandt to commit more to his shots, because now he don't have as much heat coming back at him, and he's getting the better angles in the boxing. But I see this one going to a decision. I think Garbrandt is able to stay calm and composed throughout most of this fight, and able to get his hand raised and get the decision. So in this one, I have Cody Garbrandt by decision.